Okay, so we have completed the part on Mahadashas. It was a rather long discussion. We took, you know, 9 classes for 9 Mahadashas, and we'll go for the bhavas. Okay, so the bhavas are very, very important. Okay, they are more important than the rashis when it comes to reading the horoscope. Okay, and the bhavas, they roughly translate to the houses. Yes, and these houses of the horoscope, they define where, on what, or on whom the planetary energies act in the manner indicated by the nakshatras. Okay, now house is a very poor translation. Okay, the correct word is bhava. Okay, so bhava, now Sanskrit is a sandhya bhasha. Okay, it has dual meanings. Every word in Sanskrit has a dual meaning. All right, don't tell anyone, don't allow anyone to come and tell you that, Sanskrit is very straightforward. Sanskrit is very simple. It is known as sandhya bhasha. Sandhya means having multiple layers, but again the sandhya word also means evening. Yes, so Sanskrit has, has multiple layers associated with it. Okay, so bhava in Sanskrit, it actually means a state of existence and also a state of mind. Okay, so for example, if we refer to the second house of family as the second bhava, it not only denotes the mundane details of the family, but also its overall condition, also the state of the family. Okay, so a bhava is more of a home than a house. Okay, and it is a home to all your experiences in that segment of your life. Okay, so the 12 bhavas of the horoscope, they represent the totality of the external conditions of your existence as experienced by the internal states of your mind. Okay, and what do we mean by internal states of the mind, particularly your emotions? Okay, and we know that our emotions are always influenced by by outer conditions, and then they also, they also influence other conditions too. Okay, so internal experience is often disproportionate to external environment. All right, for example, being rich will not necessarily make you happy. Okay, and similarly, being poor does not doom you to becoming miserable. Okay, so if I have to put it philosophically, bhavas are the cosmic looms on which the grahas weave the tapestry of your life from the yarn of your karmas. Okay, and they suggest to the astrologer what advantages or disadvantages will be available to an individual in the various sectors of life, and what he or she will do with these advantages or disadvantages. Okay, now before we go to the meanings which have been which have been applicable to which are applicable to each bhava as per the Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, we also have to examine their natures. Okay, we have to see what sort of energies these bhavas fundamentally indicate, because from these inherent attributes we can derive many other meanings also that Parashara might not have described in the BPHS. Okay, uh now these bhavas, they indicate the four goals of life. Okay, the first, fifth, and ninth, okay, they are known as the dharma bhavas. The second, sixth, and tenth are known as the artha bhavas. The third, seventh, and 11th, they are known as the kama bhavas, and the fourth, eighth, and 12th are the moksha bhavas. Okay, so you'll always read bhavas independent to the rashis. Okay, I've been telling you this very often. All right, you know for example, you may read for example, say someone has a Jupiter placed in the fourth house. Okay, so that Jupiter will still give good results. Okay, despite even if the fourth house is that of Capricorn. All right, or suppose someone has Mars in the 10th house, that Mars will still give good results despite even if the 10th house is that of Cancer. Okay, so bhavas first, signs later. This is the philosophy that you have to follow while reading charts. Okay, and you know Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, they represent the four pillars of life. Okay. And what is the foundation of human life? It is desire. Okay. Life is a vehicle of desire. Okay. Life is a vehicle where you carry your desire. And this desire is the ultimate foundation of both the macrocosm and the microcosm. Okay. Macrocosm, of course, is is existence of the entire universe of name and form, while microcosm is is the personal human existence. Okay. So whatever actions a human being performs, whether it is subtle or gross, whether it is selfish or altruistic, okay, altruistic, yeah, if that is the correct word, altruistic, okay, whether it is selfish or selfless, they are motivated by some sort of desire. All right. Now moksha is a very moksha is a very unrelatable term because no one has actually seen it. Okay. But even the desire for moksha is a desire. All right. And the Vedic way of life or the Vedic way of thought has always classified actions in into four purusharthas. Okay. Purushartha means the purusha is the person. It has nothing to do with male or female. It is the inherent being of who you are. Okay. And artha means you know the rewards of your efforts. Okay. So the four fundamental human desires are known as the four purusharthas, and these aims or objectives of life are are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Okay. And all of them are influenced by the play of the three gunas. Okay. Sattva, rajas, and tamas, which can be read from the horoscope. Okay. Now when you speak about the gunas, they are always interchangeable. Okay. For example, sattva turns into rajas, rajas turns into tamas, and then tamas again again turns into sattva. Okay. So it's very interchangeable if you put it in that way. You cannot say that a person is completely sattvic, or you cannot say that a person is completely rajasic, or you cannot say that a person is completely tamasic. Okay. So if you were to put it in few simple words, uh, tamas is inertia. Okay. Tamas is inertia. Rajas is hunger. Rajas is what motivates you. Okay. Your hunger always motivates you. That is the reason you are going to that job. That is the reason you are going to you're going for work. You have a desire to do something. So the desire is to fill your stomach, but then we disguise it as something else. All right. So rajas is always hunger, and sattva is purpose. Okay. So if you find your purpose, you have to be hungry to fulfill it. Okay. And when you are when you're hungry to fulfill it, you will do actions to to solve that hunger. And after a lot of action, you feel you enter into a state of inertia, which is neither rest nor motion. Okay. So it is an interplay of the three gunas. Okay. So sattva turns into rajas, rajas turns into tamas, and tamas turns into sattva. So you can read all this from the horoscope, as we will see. All right. So what is dharma? Okay. So dharma means something that that you are born to do. Okay. Dharma is something that you are born to do. Okay. And human Hinduism actually puts a lot of lot of stress on desire. Okay. We have kameshwari as the embodiment of desire. Yes. So we have kamadeva as the embodiment of desire. So you're not really following Hinduism if you don't have desire. Okay. So all these thoughts of of becoming desireless, all these thoughts of becoming free from desires, these are actually thoughts from Buddhism. This has nothing to do with Hinduism. Okay. Hinduism is all about engaging with that desire, because life is life is according to Vedic philosophy, life is a vehicle of desire. Okay. Wherever you go, you will take your desire along. Okay. The desire can change as per your circumstances, but you cannot negate desire. And if someone is teaching you to be anti-desire, that you should not have any desires, then that know very well that that person is actually against life, against a fulfillment of life. Okay. So desire is the very basis of why you were born. Okay, your parents desired to have a sexual intercourse so that you could be produced. Okay, so since you were born out of a desire, so desire is there, till the very, since desire has been there since the beginning of time, and desire will be there even after, after everything ends. Okay, when Shakti saw Shiva, she just ran and embraced Shiva, and from that desire everything came up. Okay, now when you know your desire, okay, when you know your desire, what makes you, when you engage with your desire, you'll also know what makes you happy. And dharma is exactly that. Okay, what makes you happy is your dharma. Okay, how, something that you are born to do, something that only you can do as a, as an individual. Okay, and this is true for everyone. There is actually something which only you can do, and finding that out is your dharma, is your, is your life's objective. Okay, and if you do that, you will be happy. If you don't do that, you will not be happy. As simple as that. Okay, so if you're not happy with your work, or if you're not happy with, with whatever you are doing, it means you are not following your dharma. So it means you're living a very incomplete life. Okay, and that will, that will give you diseases, mental diseases, physical diseases. Okay, because then what happens is, if you're, if you're doing something that you don't like, it's going to show up in your body. Okay, it's going to cause a lot of problems in the body. All right, because dharma is all about doing what you like. Okay, and some texts will translate dharma as duty, but dharma is not duty. Okay, it means doing what fits your aptitude in the context of your familial and social responsibilities. Okay, and dharma is not your job. Okay, dharma is not your vocation. Your work is, of course, a very important part of your personal dharma. All right, but dharma is not equal to career or profession. Okay, and then many Indians, they mistakenly translate dharma as religion. Okay, and they think that, they tell you that Sanatan dharma is the eternal religion and all such shit. But dharma is more than, it's more than mere dogma and rituals. Okay, dharma, dharma, it actually comes from a Sanskrit root word which means to hold. Okay, and what holds your life together is what you love to do. Okay, if you are doing whatever whatever you love to do, your life, you can beautifully hold your life together. Okay, and dharma is that path through life that establishes an individual as a stable, productive, and satisfied human being. So understand this word satisfied. It is very important to be satisfied in whatever you are doing. Okay, it is very, very important to be satisfied in whatever you are doing. Otherwise, as I said, if you don't like what you are doing, it will make you sick. And that is the primary reason why people fall sick. Okay, most people, they come to me saying that, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm that. And then when I make them disengage with whatever they are doing, miraculously they recover. Why does that happen? That happens because they were not following the dharma. And when you don't follow your dharma, you're bound to fall sick. You're bound to be miserable. You're bound to be, to be living a very unhappy and a very wretched life, if you could put it that way. Okay. So this Sanatan Dharma, it is like this infinite path which differs from for every seeker, but then which, when followed wholeheartedly, it takes each unerringly to the goal. And what is the goal? The goal is to, the goal is to understand your role in creation. The goal is to understand your role as a co-creator. Okay, so this dharma, it is an inborn faculty of existence and not an externally derived discipline. Okay, it has not come from somewhere outside. It has been very much there, in a human society. Okay, it is it is something that you must do to uplift the society that you live in. Okay, and the activities called dharma, you know they are imposed as a kind of natural law on all existent beings in the universe. And this is something that the Manusmriti says. Okay, dharma is a kind of natural law that is imposed on all the existent beings in the universe. Okay, but this is not, this is This is very literal. Don't take the literal meaning of it. All right. Dharma means being who you are. Okay. What is the dharma of sugar? The dharma of sugar is to be sweet. Okay. So what is your dharma? Your dharma is to be more of a human. Okay. Just like the dharma of, the dharma of salt is to be salty. Similarly, the dharma of a human being is to be more human. Okay, so don't go by the classical textbook definitions as to what they tell, what dharma is. Don't allow textbooks to tell you what dharma is. Find out what you like to do, and then, make that your dharma. Bhagavad Gita calls it as swadharma. Okay, now everyone's road to reality is personalized. Okay, so that is the reason why something which is dharma for one person may be adharmic for someone else. Okay, whatever is good for me may be bad for someone else. Okay, but then this dharma is a part of destiny, and it cannot be ignored because it may be painful, boring, or inconvenient. Okay, for example, there are people who have spent their entire lives teaching kindergarten students. So don't you think that they have at one point of time they have thought that it was a pretty painful or a pretty boring job, but they have still done it. Okay, why? Because you cannot ignore dharma as a part of your destiny. Okay, so the point being, it's already very hard to live up to it. Okay, and to live up to your destiny. And one of the main tasks, or one of the main goals of learning astrology, is to understand or know what your true dharma is. Okay, instead of your ego telling you what your true dharma is. All right, so your ego will have a very skewed idea of your true dharma. Okay, you have to use the knowledge of Vedic astrology to know what your true dharma is. Okay, and the ability to accurately perceive and act on your dharma will depend a great deal on your ability to influence, to minimize the influence of rajas and tamas on your consciousness. Okay, there's a way to do it. Okay, I'll not be sharing that way, but in to ensure that you have a great ability to accurately perceive. Yes, if you have a great ability to accurately perceive and act on your dharma, you know that ability will depend on how far you are able to live in the guna of sattva. Okay, but then, as I said, it is not easy. Okay, it's not that easy because the gunas, they move in cycles. Okay, sattva turns into rajas turns into tamas. Okay, so what was sattva? Sattva means purpose, rajas means hunger, and tamas means inertia. Okay, so this is one of the fundamental goals of Vedic astrology. It has to no it has to pinpoint exactly. As an astrologer, you must pinpoint exactly what is the dharma that you must do in this lifetime. What is the one thing that you are really good at in this lifetime? Okay, can anyone tell me how to pinpoint that out? What is the karma that you must do in this lifetime? Anyone? Think about it. I'm just taking a break for a couple of minutes. Okay, so Dhanu has tried to answer this question. Okay, how we complete karma 10th house of data? No, 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 no. The karma that you have to do in this lifetime is seen from the Dasamsha Devata placement of Surya. Okay, look at where, look at which Dasamsha Devata contains Surya. Okay, or rather, Surya is placed in which Dashamsha. Okay, find out the Devata of that Dasamsha, and the nature of the Devata will actually tell you the nature of the work that you need to do in order to be happy. Okay, try to find it out. If not, I'll do a masterclass on the Samsha and maybe we can discuss it then. Okay, but anyways, then we have Artha. Okay, Now, artha means the rewards that flow in when you do your dharma. Okay. Artha means the rewards that flow in when you do your dharma. All right. It does not mean wealth. It does not mean resources. Okay. It means the rewards. All right. And, these rewards, they help you to, to follow your dharma even more. That means they help you to support yourself. Okay. And, if you are using knowledge for supporting yourself or for furthering your dharma, that can also be classified as artha. Okay. Don't think that artha is only money. It can also refer to knowledge. If you are, if you're using knowledge to support your agenda of the soul. Okay. Right now, yes, by learning jyotish, we are actually using knowledge to know more about ourselves. We are trying to know the deeper facts about ourselves, right? So this is actually artha. Okay. This education that we are receiving or I'm imparting to you is actually artha. Okay. And then, as I said, artha flows in only when you follow your dharma. Okay. So, rather than telling people what is the right profession, see if they are actually following their dharma. That is the reason why, why this D10 becomes so very important in the analysis. Okay. Rather than telling people, which profession to take. Okay. Just see if, if they are following their own dharma. Okay. That is a better, let's just see where the sun is placed in the D10, in which the Samsha Devata, and see if they are doing the work related to that Devata. If they are, then then the rewards will automatically flow in. If they aren't, then they will lead a very miserable life, irrespective of the wealth yogas in the horoscope. Okay. So be very careful in interpreting in these under these conditions. All right. Now we come to moksha. Okay, so this is again a very abstract concept. Okay, moksha, it actually means liberation. All right, liberation means freedom from freedom from death. Okay, but how do how do you how do you become free from death? You become free from death by not dying. Okay, you become free from death by becoming immortal. All right, that is, for example, it's very wrong to say that a particular being has attained moksha after death. Okay, we frequently say that Vivekananda attained death. Vivekananda attained moksha after death. My question is, how do you know? Okay, but if someone comes and tells me that okay, Mahavatar Babaji has attained moksha, then I will completely agree because he has found a way to make himself immortal. Okay, and there's a yoga has this way of doing it. Okay, someone has to give you that immortality. There is a very secret process. Okay, there is a very secret pranayam which is there to make you immortal. Okay, and I'll not reveal the name of the pranayam, but if you do that regularly for 20 to 30 minutes every day, your body will start reverse aging. Okay, and after your body starts reverse aging, will give up your tendency to eat. Okay, you'll start photosynthesizing. That means you will derive all your energy from sunlight, and that is the beginning of your immortality. Okay, then you can you can live on this earth as long as you want, and then maybe later on you can give up your body and go to some other planet. Okay, this is the secret of moksha that no teacher of astrology or no teacher of samkhya philosophy or no teacher of yoga will actually tell you. Okay, I come to know this because I have a guru who is immortal. So, and I know that I will be immortal at some point of time as well. Okay, so this is the this is the underlying underlying secret of moksha. You cannot attain liberation by dying. You have to attain liberation by not dying. Okay, you have to make this body last, and that is what Mahavatar Babaji says. Death is an absolute waste of human birth. Okay, that if you are dying, it means that you have not taken care of your body well enough to make it to make it live for centuries and centuries. All right, so don't let anyone to fool you that moksha comes after death. Okay, don't let anyone tell you that people who are leaving their body by their own will, they're attaining moksha. They are not. Okay, they are not. The next moment only they will be born somewhere in some form. Okay, you cannot become, you cannot attain moksha by dying. You have to attain moksha by not dying. You have to outlive, you have to outlive death. Okay, and it's possible. Okay, it's very much possible. All right. So any questions till this point of of the discussion? Yeah, Shraddha, tell me.
Om Guruve Namah, sir.
Yeah, tell me. Om
Uh,
Guru Namaha.
Sir, is this possible to choose the planet after immortality and once they leave the body by their choice?
I did not get a question, Shraddha.
Means the person who leaves the body
Hmm.
after some time,
Hmm.
can they choose that which planet they have to go? Is that in their hand?
Yeah, it is. It is. This is actually there in the Bhagavad Gita also. If you are, if you are, just before dying, the last thought that you have,
Mm.
that will determine the nature of birth that you will take. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example if you to make things clear. For example, there was this guru, okay, of
Mm.
my there is this guru, okay, there is this Persian immortal whose name is Ibrahim. Okay. So he was one of the he was one of the prince of Persia. Okay, he was at once upon a time he was the prince of Persia. Now don't take that as the game character of the prince of Persia. He was not that. All right. And then he could not become the king, and then his elder brother became the king, and then he was dying. Okay. And Persia is of course a Mediterranean country. And then when he was dying, he heard a few buffaloes just moving outside by enjoying the winter sun, and he
Mm.
thought that shit, man, I have lived, I've wasted my entire life. Just look at how good these, how good a life these buffaloes are having. And then he passed. Okay. And before he knew it, he ended up in the womb of a female buffalo, and he was born as a buffalo. Okay. So the last thought that you have before you die, that determines the next birth you will have. It has nothing to do with your karmas. Okay.
Mm.
Don't think that, if you're born as a human now, you'll be
Mm.
again born as a human. No, if you think that, a mosquito has a better life than you'll actually be born as a mosquito.
You mean to say if someone is a sinner, but at a last moment he see something good like a human or something, then he's
No, no,
going
no,
to get.
not sees, not sees, not sees. He has to think of something good. Okay. If he
Okay.
is able to think of something good before
Mm.
he dies, then he will be having that same birth during the, in the next birth.
Yeah. For example, till the time we go, aliens will come.
Sorry.
Suppose,
Aliens. I did not get the
suppose,
question.
suppose if alien comes till the time we leave this earth. Suppose then
Hmm.
then are we going to get the birth of alien?
See, the thing is that suppose he believes that, suppose he thinks about aliens who live in, say, Mars, he'll actually be born in Mars. Okay. So that is
Planet
how it,
Mars.
yeah. So that is
Okay.
how it
Thank,
works. All right.
yeah.
You
Thank you,
have
sir.
to be very careful about your thoughts. Okay. Because what you think, you become that in your next birth. What you think before, just before the prana leaves the body, you will become that in the next birth.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah. Thank
it's better you think about, about good thoughts. Okay.
you. Yes.
If you think
Yeah.
about your mother-in-law, how bad my mother-in-law was, then you will actually end up being that. Okay. And this is a
That's why we.
problem. Okay. Most people cannot get over their mother-in-law. Yes.
Mm.
Suppose Bikong will think that, how bad I had a life in this bank. Even
Mm.
my chaprasi had a better life than me. Then, he will be born as a chaprasi. He will be born into a family who will be forced to become a chaprasi. Okay.
Yes, sir. Right.
So
Yeah.
that is
Thank.
how it works.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay then. I actually have to, I have to end this class unfortunately, because I'm short on time, and I'm about to be a part of a ritual. So we'll end this for today. And there is a part on the Mahadashas that I wanted to cover. Okay. Regarding the Antardashas. I was searching for the, for the notes, but I could not find it, but I'll still find it. Okay. Before we go into the Bhavas, I wanted to start the Bhavas, but again, then I thought that no, let me start with how to predict the Antardashas. Okay. We have done the completed the part on the Mahadashas. I just want to see how we can, just wanted to let you know how we can predict the Antardashas and then the Pratyantardashas as well. So I think that will be a bigger help. Okay. So we can start the bhavas after that, and we have lots of time to to do this in detail as well. Okay. So thank you for joining in, and I'll see you next week. And again, as a reminder, we'll be going for Lajjitadi Avasthas, okay, from next Wednesday. So that is a very important topic that you need to study basically to understand, to take your predictive skills to the next level. Okay. Some people say that my Jupiter is not giving you results. Some people say that, some people say that my Venus is not giving me results. Saturn is exalted. Why it is giving me bad results? Maybe it is in a bad Lajjitadi Avastha. Okay. And it's a very, workable Avastha. That means it's not fixed. If you are born in a bad Lajjitadi Avastha, you can actually rectify the chart. Okay. And we will go into those rectifications as well. We will see how each individual planets behave. We will see how each, what each planet wants you to do basically. So that course will be a precursor to the Satyam Shivam Sundaram course, which we will be, and which I'll be announcing on January. That will be the flagship program of Jyotish 108. So it will be a precursor to that course, and I hope to see all of you there. Okay. All right, then. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll see you on Wednesday with the first introductory class on the Lajjitadi Avasthas. Right? Thank you very much. Om Guru Namaha.